Hi, Dr. Pelto here. I got a question from a patient recently, and this is a blog post that we did on what should I do if I step on glass. Many patients, they think they might step on glass or they know they stepped on glass. This is something you should get it checked out. If you get a little piece of glass in there, it's a clean glass, you can try to pull it out. But many of our patients, they get this glass inside of their foot and they can't get it out, or they're unsure if it's infected. So let's talk about a few things. If you get glass in your foot, first thing you need is a tetanus shot. If you haven't had a tetanus shot in about 10 years, you need a tetanus shot or update a booster of a tetanus shot. And that can be done at an urgent care or emergency room. If your tetanus is what we call up to date, then you should clean the area. If it looks a little bit red, it looks a little infected, you should get that checked out. You shouldn't just kind of deal with it yourself with triple antibiotic or Neosporin. The big problem is when this glass goes into the foot. This is what we see frequently in our office, is glass in the foot. And you can get an x-ray, but x-ray doesn't always show glass in the foot. That's the problem. And only if it looks at it a certain way, you can see that glass. There's another way of looking at it with an ultrasound that can be a little bit easier. And ultimately what we have to do is usually make a little incision and pull out the glass if we can find it. But the problem is if you have a glass in there a long time and you're walking around it, it's funny, the glass kind of moves around in your because underneath your skin, that tissue in there is kind of a little flexible and movable, and it'll move around. But that's kind of the challenge. You should get it checked out if you have glass, if you stepped on glass, if there's any problem. I remember a patient recently that came into the office, and she had stepped on glass and it got all red and swollen, and this needed to go urgently to the operating room to be removed, this glass. And it was actually one of my colleagues here that did that. This is a patient that came in on the weekend for that. Another thing that I find in the office is diabetic patients. Diabetic patients, they might step on a glass or something similar. And I had one patient, he chronically was stepping on glass. I think he had broke glass at his house. And every time he came in, I was pulling out these shards of glass from his foot. They didn't really penetrate into the skin, but I sometimes found them. He had a wound as well I was treating. And these don't hurt. So you have to be careful, especially if you have diabetes, because you may not feel the glass and it's just kind of there. It's inside of your foot, and that can be a big problem. I am going to put a couple of other videos you might like here. If you have any questions about glass or stepping on stuff, or if you had an experience, write it underneath this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts, and please subscribe to this channel so I can make more videos and know what you guys like. Okay, thanks guys.